Hey everyone, welcome back to 𝗧𝗥𝗍𝗫. Today I'm going to give you 4 tips that you should consider before you release your very first release ever. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. It really helps us a lot, and also while you're down there, maybe give this video a thumbs up if you like watching it. I absolutely get it. You're super busy getting your songs ready, and then they are ready and you kind of want to share them with the world out there as soon as possible, as fast as possible. Then you kind of realize, well, I have like 0 subscribers on Spotify, and you share it probably on Instagram, the release is out, your friends and family are listening to the song, and I'm sure they love it and they're going to support you, but what happens then? Often nothing at all. So let's get back to the beginning. Here are 4 tips that you should consider before you release your very first song ever. You have your first song ready, maybe a couple of them even. Uploading them to Spotify and all those places is definitely not step number 1 in the whole process. As a music marketing person myself, I do recommend you start with building an audience first, even if it's just a small one. Before you upload your music to Spotify, Bandcamp, and whatnot, I recommend you choose a platform that is going to be the primary home for your additional content, basically the place where you can tell your personal story. If you have a website, that is amazing, but I guess most of you out there are going to have a social media account somewhere where most of your audience will also be. Choose a channel where you can see your future fan base being represented the most, and then just go with that channel first. In most cases, that platform, at the moment at least, is going to be Instagram or TikTok probably. Pick one, but make sure that whatever platform and channel you're using right now, you update them all with the latest pictures, with the latest links, if it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever. Your goal with all those channels is to take people on your personal journey as an artist. So what you want to do is share behind the scenes material, things that make you more relatable to your audience out there. That can be either shooting a video of yourself writing a song, you rehearsing your instrument and practicing your songs, maybe also a video of you recording your song at the studio. And maybe even think about sharing some fails, because the road to success is definitely not a straight one. There are going to be moments where you feel like, oh my God, why is everything going wrong? People are also interested in seeing that side of the journey. That makes you more relatable, and that is super important on social media, so do not hesitate to also show the fails on the road to success. If you start, let's say, a new Instagram account as your artist profile on social media, make sure that you move the audience that you have on your personal account over to your new artist account. The best way to do that is to just post content from your artist account or artist account related content on your personal account. Also link to your new profile in the description of your personal account. And then, and that is the most important, you have to ask your followers to also follow your new profile. As an alternative, you can also just use your personal account and just basically change it into your artist account. So basically just change maybe your name, your username on Instagram or any other platform, and update your bio. In my opinion, that's not a big deal, because your Instagram account is going to be about you as a person anyway. In the beginning, most of your followers are going to be your friends and your family, but don't worry about it. They are an amazing audience, because I hope so at least. They support you, they love you. Most, or I want to say almost all social media channels out there are very much focused on visuals. So whatever photos and videos you post of yourself, make sure that they kind of like transport your style and your vibe and your attitude as an artist. People want to be able to identify. So make sure your personality, your attitude comes through in the pictures and videos that you post. The second thing I recommend you do before releasing your very first song is to understand what is your goal and to set a timeline with a release schedule accordingly. So let's start with the first one of those. Decide on your goal. Do you want to maybe record a demo, send it to record labels out there to get a record deal, or do you want to stay an independent self-releasing artist? Both ways and options have their pros and cons, so make a decision there on what you really want to do with your career. But if you are not super well connected as an artist who's just starting out, I assume you're going to be releasing a couple of songs yourself before you start reaching out to industry people. The second thing you need to do here is set a timeline and a release date. But I really recommend you do not take that release date too seriously at this point. It doesn't matter if your release is out tomorrow or 3 months from now. Just readjust if you need more time. I recommend that you have everything that you need to promote and release your very first song ready to go at least 1 month before the release date. That includes obviously the mixed and the mastered sound file, the artwork for your release, but also your EPK. If it is your first release ever, definitely you should go with a single first, or actually you should go with a couple of singles first. This is basically what we're going to call your release strategy. It's one single at a time. That is important for several reasons. First of all, the streaming algorithms need to get to know you better, and that just takes a bit of time. Uploading regularly really helps with that. Second, you want to pitch to Spotify playlists. And as most of you guys out there probably know by now, you can always just pitch one track per release to the Spotify editors, which means it doesn't matter if it's a single or an album, always just one track. And then obviously there's the promotional side of things. You want to promote each release you have out there. You want to promote many releases and as many as you can to blogs and magazines and platforms out there. And the same with your own social media channels. You want to kind of create a whole story around every release you put out. It's obviously better if you have more chances to do that. Another important point is that you always need something to talk about. And while you can't put out 10 albums a year, because how are you going to write 10 times 10 songs a year? 10 single releases actually seem quite doable. The third thing I recommend before you release your very first single is promote it ahead of time, even if it is your first single and your first release ever. That means pitching it to independent playlist curators, to music blogs, independent radio stations. Some outlets out there are specifically looking for new emerging artists, and maybe there's a niche playlist out there which is just the perfect match for your kind of music and sound. Also, I recommend you start looking for local media outlets because those are always looking for new local talent. Be sure that all of those people understand what your brand is about and what is unique and special about you and your music right away. This has to come through in your bio and also in your pictures. So again, put a lot of effort and thought into those because those actually matter. Even if it doesn't work out right away, you are on the radar of those people, of those curators, of those editors. That is what you want, so start promoting your releases from day one. If you don't have too much experience with PR yet, I recommend you start using platforms like SubmitHub or daily playlists. There, you can just upload your content and your new release without having to put too much work into the research of those contacts and those blog editors and playlist curators. You have everything in one place, and it's super easy to use. And of course, you also have to promote your new and upcoming release on your social media channels before, during, and after the release date. Before the release date, you have plenty of things to share. As I said before, you want to talk about the whole journey to the release date. So you can even share a snippet of your new song with a pre-save link to Spotify. Pre-saves before the release date are super, super important for the Spotify algorithm. So that is something I definitely recommend. On release day itself, you obviously want to share the artwork with a smart link. The smart link sends all of your fans automatically to the platform that they prefer the most. So I definitely recommend that for the release date. But even after the release date, you still can share behind the scenes footage. You can maybe do an IGTV live video where you play an unplugged version of one of your songs. The options are endless, as you see, but I think you get the idea. One thing that I haven't talked about until now is the pitching to official Spotify playlists. That one is super important, obviously, and that brings us to tip number 4. Upload your release with a digital distributor of your choice at least 1 month before the release date. This is super important because first of all, you will need the time to actually claim your Spotify profile. You will need the time to actually make it look good, make it professional, add a bio, add pictures, add links to all your channels. But then also you will need time, and that is at least 7 days, to pitch your track to the Spotify editors. From upload to claimed profile, it can take up to 3 weeks or even a little longer, depending on how fast your distributor is. So definitely make sure you plan in enough time to upload your release with your digital music distributor. Your distributor should be able to provide you, first of all, obviously, your artist URI so you can claim your profile, but also your release URI before the release is live at all. That way, you can create a pre-save link to your release and ask your fans and your audience on your social media channels to pre-save your release before release date on Spotify and many other platforms out there. That is going to tell the algorithms out there, this is an important release because people are already saving that release even though that artist just created their artist profile. After approval, you will be able to log into your Spotify for Artists account and you will find your new release that is not live on the platform yet in your upcoming releases, and from there you can pitch it to the Spotify editors. If you want to know more about how music distribution works and also how to pitch to Spotify playlists, I already have videos on both of those topics actually. I'm going to link them in the description below if you want to have a look at it. Those are my 4 tips, 4 things that I think you definitely should consider before you start putting music out there as a new artist. If you have released your first song already, I would love to hear more about your personal experience with it, and maybe you have tips for all the other artists out there as well. Drop them in the comments below. Also, if you have any questions, I'm happy to help you out if you have more questions on how to release your very first song. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'm going to see you very soon. Well, that was good. Should have done that right away.